Final Fantasy VII Remake is the first part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, a set of games completely remaking and remixing the OG FF7 from the ground up. It brings back all sorts of mechanics, including the Materia system. But all these complex mechanics are far too confusing, and wouldn't you know it, I've already hit play. Can you beat Final Fantasy VII Remake without Materia? Materia is equipment you attach to a character to give them certain bonuses and new abilities, and we aren't going to be able to use any of them here. The Materia equipment menu becomes available in Chapter 2, so before that we'll just have to make sure not to use them. On top of that, we have a bonus challenge. We're going to attempt to complete every single side quest in the game too, to make sure we experience everything the Final Fantasy VII Remake No Materia run has to offer. Avalanche are planning to destroy Mako Reactor 1. With them, ex-soldier Cloud Strife, who we will be controlling for most of the game. Shinra troops immediately detect us, and we ready ourselves for battle. We haven't got time to play. The way to the reactor is through them. Not a problem for a soldier first class. Cloud is the best of the best. Now, while we can't use Materia, we will still have two abilities to use. Focus Thrust, which allows us to stagger enemies, giving us an opening for another attack, and a damage multiplier if they become staggered. And Braver, a super hard-hitting attack that targets a single enemy. Between the many battles, we will have the opportunity to find some chests. These will be important. Without Cure Materia, the only ways to heal will be the infrequent benches and potions. To keep yourself safe, just make sure you keep Cloud's HP above half between battles. It won't be long until we enter the Mako Reactor, finally gaining control of Barret. Barret can shoot enemies that are simply out of Cloud's range, like these turrets for example. We will be able to switch between our current party members during the battle, and knowing who to control and when is going to be key in completing this challenge. After a few more encounters, we'll run into a sweeper. This guy will be tough. He specifically has a rapid fire attack that can really hurt you if you're unprepared. Luckily, a simple guard will reduce most of the damage. And while the sweeper is attacking one of the party members, you can quite easily swap to the other to get some insane free damage. After a little back and forth, you should be able to take him down pretty quickly, allowing us to continue exploring the Mako Reactor. Upon reaching the main area, we see a cool feather drop and get ambushed by the latest in Shinra weaponry. The Scorpion Sentinel is our first boss fight, and it'll teach us many things about our No Materia run. We will not be able to hit its lightning elemental weakness at all without Materia. The Scorpion's attacks are fast and hit hard. Its biggest weakness is that it can only target one party member at a time. Try to control Barret whenever the Scorpion tries targeting, as he has more health and defense. Then swap to Cloud to use Bravers. You should hopefully be able to deal enough damage to enter Phase 2 quickly, where the Scorpion will erect a barrier, heavily protecting it against all physical damage. It's at this point where it will begin moving around a lot more. Occasionally, it'll jump out of range and shoot missiles at you. A simple guard will protect you against most damage. Just make sure to roll out of the way when the Scorpion comes crashing down. It might be a bad time to say, but you'd better not have used many potions before this encounter, as it can be pretty tough to dodge all of these moves fully. If you keep doing Bravers against the generator between attacks, it will eventually break the shield, allowing us to stagger the boss. And when we do, focus on using Bravers as Cloud to deal as much damage as possible, hopefully throwing him into the third phase. Now the Scorpion will occasionally charge up a laser. This will just KO you. Instead of getting hit, take cover behind the debris. And between laser charges, you can attack him. Ultimately, his attacks are roughly the same, just be ready to run away when he starts the wind-up. In the final phase, the Scorpion Sentinel will begin auto-repair, which will keep healing him while you attack. We need to target the legs to stagger it, and with a few more Bravers, the Scorpion Sentinel goes down. But we have a more pressing issue. We need to exit the reactor before the bomb goes off. It's up to us alone to break through Shinra's defenses and get out of here. Shinra isn't letting us go easy. They've sent another sweeper. No time for a careful strategy. Build up that ATB and throw Bravers at him. We do need to make sure to pick up Jesse on the way out and show off a little for the camera. We escape just in time as the reactor completely explodes. Cloud splits off from Avalanche, which means we'll be flying solo this whole chapter. We get to see the impact of our actions firsthand, racing through the devastated Sector 8 to the train station for our getaway. Oh, we also finally get the Materia menu, allowing us to unequip all of our Materia. Just before the station, Cloud gets a little PTSD. Enter Sephiroth, an old war hero who seems to have a past with our hero Cloud. Answers on said past will have to wait, because we have a paycheck to collect. It doesn't take long before we meet local florist Aerith Gainsborough. I sure hope nothing sinister happens to her. After a quick exchange, she gives us a flower before taking off, and it seems like Shinra won't simply let us walk to that station. We're gonna have to commit more manslaughter. It's all good though, they're probably just sleeping. These enemies are identical to those we found in the Mako reactor, so this shouldn't be too bad. We do, however, get introduced to the Grenadiers. These guys have significantly lower health and defense, but they will lob AoE grenades instead of shooting. In my opinion, deal with these guys immediately to minimize the pain. We can pick up our first accessory in this chest here. These wristbands, which will give us an extra 5% strength. Pretty handy to have. We then get ambushed in the square by troops. Now, you may have noticed the different stances I'm using as Cloud. Operator mode is a much more agile stance, allowing us to deal fast, light damage and get away with ease. Punisher mode is a heavy-hitting combo stance. We cannot guard in Punisher. Instead, when we guard, Cloud will automatically counter an enemy attack. Though it should be noted, this only works for physical melee attacks. We won't be able to do a Leon Kennedy and counter bullets or magic. Shortly after, we get a shiny new Iron Bangle, which you might as well equip for the added defense. Riot Troopers are now introduced. These guys will be carrying a riot shield to protect from your physical attacks. They do have an exposed back, so just roll around them and attack that weak point. Fighting further down the street, we get cut off and are completely surrounded by Shinra's elite Huntsman. The Huntsman himself isn't too difficult. However, he does bring a squad with him. Luckily, we can divide and conquer. If we stay close to these jeeps while defeating these enemies, the others won't be aggroed, allowing you to defeat half of the smaller enemies really quickly. Aggroing the others will bring the Huntsman out, so we need to quickly defeat them before we focus on the actual boss. Ultimately, the Huntsman is just a tougher riot trooper, and as such, he has the same crippling weakness. Roll around the back of him to get a few hits in and roll back out to safety. If you can pressure him, make sure to use a focus thrust immediately after, as that damage multiplier will come in clutch. And after a while, you should clear out the unit, letting Cloud escape coolly atop the train. We touch back at home base, terrify Barrett's daughter, rough up the neighbours and get criminally underpaid.
That's it?
We wake up the next morning with Tifa, much like my manager, demanding I do extra unpaid work to get the rest of my paycheck. After a whole lot of walking, we get a request from Biggs and Wedge to clear out Scrap Boulevard of monsters. This unlocks two things: weapons and Tifa. Each weapon in the game has its own skill tree, with each upgrade in each core costing the same amount of SP. We gain SP, of course, by leveling up the characters. These can give us extra attack, HP, or just buffs. There is strategy to these skill trees, as there are certain upgrades that'll be worthless on this run. So don't be silly and get extra materia slots for obvious reasons. I personally prioritized attack over everything. You don't need extra health if you don't get hit. These encounters also give us a great opportunity to test out one of my favourite characters in the game, Tifa. She is a fast and hard-hitting melee fighter. Her big gimmick is her unbridled strength ability. Using this, we can increase her power and speed. And yes, it stacks a second time. This move will also have the unique attribute of increasing the stagger damage multiplier when using either Rise and Fall or Omni Strike. Her starting weapon, leather gloves, are pretty decent for this challenge, prioritizing her physical attack stat. After clearing out the Boulevard, we unlock the first batch of side quests. There are a total of 26 side quests, however, one of them specifically is mutually exclusive, giving us a final total of 25, with 6 of them being right here. Up first is Lost Friends, an intense quest where we need to find 3 cats, but it does appear that Cloud is enjoying himself at the very least.
This sucks.
Okay, the first real side quest. We need to take out a few Doom Rats bothering this guy. This quest is a really good opportunity to talk about weapon abilities. Earlier, we got a new sword for Cloud, Iron Blade. Each weapon in the game gives said character a new ability they can learn permanently after some use. Iron Blade gives Cloud Triple Slash, a multi-targeting set of slashes that can deal some good damage to multiple enemies. It's imperative to equip new weapons as soon as you get them to learn the new ability. Triple Slash makes easy work out of the beginning were-rats before the real rats come out. These Doom Rats are pretty tough compared to those were-rats. We can aggro them onto Cloud with Triple Slash, while Tifa targets each enemy individually. Eventually, they should all go down. The third side quest, Chadley's Report, is a simple, yet impossible task. All we need to do is use the assess materia, which we can't do. And spoiler, this is the only side quest we cannot complete, so that's a little annoying. But hey, that does mean we don't have to deal with Chadley. For now. A few flying enemies called Drakes have entered a nearby construction site, and Cloud has been hired as the Exterminator. There are quite a few enemies we'll have to deal with beforehand. These enemies can climb onto the walls, making them out of reach for that period of time. Just look out for when they pounce off and try landing on a character, as this will stun them for a long time. By this point, we will have learned Tifa's weapon ability, Dive Kick, which I like to think of as a homing attack from Sonic the Hedgehog. Don't like Sonic? F me, I tried. We will be finding materia at certain points throughout the game, which you can pick up and sell to a vendor. How you sell things to a vending machine is beyond me. We soon after encounter the Drakes. This is our introduction to flying enemies, the bane of our existence. Without materia or Barret, there is no reliable way to damage these guys. Remake's aerial combat is not good. The attacks lock on to the previous position of the enemies when you hit the button, and as flying enemies like moving around a lot, it can be quite frustrating. But stick with it, and you'll get past them, clearing the mission. Another more powerful Drake has flown into the construction site, which we will have to take care of. By this point, we had learned Triple Slash, so I swapped back to the Buster Sword for the added attack. The way to the Drake is locked, so we need to get the key card located in these crates by that bench. With the gates unlocked, we can fight the Drake. And again, Remake's aerial combat leaves a lot to be desired. This fight luckily isn't too annoying, as the Drake is a lot bigger. We can alternate between Cloud and Tifa, keeping up the assault, stopping the Drake from damaging us. When he gets pressured or staggered, he will drop to the ground, giving us an opening. But either way, he shouldn't be living for too long. This final side quest will house the boss. We have to return to Scrap Boulevard to defeat an escaped Shinra experiment, the Wraith Hound. This guy is a souped up variant of the guard dogs we've been fighting for a little while. This guy is tough and agile. Between his attacks, he will run around a lot, making it difficult to get some hits in. Using Punisher mode as Cloud to counter his attacks was the strategy I ended up using. After he's lost a third of his health, the Hound will take off to the other side of Scrap Boulevard, where he will become a lot faster. For the best results, try dodging his throat clamp ability, as this will leave him pressured, giving you an opening to use a focus thrust. Keep up the assault with Tifa, and make sure she has her unbridled strength maxed out. Once you get him staggered, you can increase that multiplier with Tifa, while using Bravers as Cloud. And he's gone. With that, Cloud's first day on the job is complete. He gets his full paycheck and leaves Avalanche. That is, until some guys start poking around, seemingly looking for Barret. Cloud considers selling him out for a few hundred gil, until they turn on him. But even 4-on-1, they got nothing on Cloud. On the way home, we run into Jessie, who has a favour for us. We need to escort her to the top side of the Sector 7 plate, with Cloud reluctantly agreeing. we meet up with Jesse, Biggs and Wedge to go topside. It's here we get the cool bike minigame. We're gonna have to fight off the Shinra security while going 100 miles an hour. This is a pretty fun segment that I'm certain everybody enjoys. We do get into a little scuffle with this soldier called Roche, but luckily Cloud takes care of him. We arrive at Jessie's house. The mission, retrieve her father's ID to rob a nearby Shinra warehouse. And we're going to have to fight off the entire battalion. This can get pretty overwhelming due to the sheer size of the force we're taking on. Try to target the larger groups first with a triple slash, as the attack will hit multiple enemies per swing, hopefully taking down an entire group. Once the first wave is down, missiles will be constantly launched from above. We're gonna have to let our allies take care of those while we take care of the grunts. The easiest wave is this one. These hounds will come out chasing Wedge. Using triple slashes are very effective here, because they are all closely grouped together. After a few slashes, they should all go down. We then have to deal with not one, but two sweepers at the same time. These guys can cut you down effortlessly if you get reckless. What we want to do is lure them into Wedge's mines. This will stun them for a brief moment, giving us an opening. Focus on each one individually, and after a couple of minutes, you should be able to take them down. Even still, we get completely surrounded, and then Roche appears. He wants a rematch, a one-on-one, a true test of skill. Roche is a fast fighter. We want to play very reactionary here. Don't try to attack, let Roche come to you. He will leave himself open after any of his attacks. That is your opportunity to strike. After a little beating, Roche will now actually begin trying. Every one of his moves will now be upgraded, along with him getting a new attack. This forward thrust. Luckily, this thrust is telegraphed for a long time. As soon as he begins to charge, dodge out of the way, and you know the rest. You can pressure him with Punisher mode, perform some focus thrusts, and finish him off with a Braver. Roche retreats, and Wedge sacrifices himself for our safety, which I accept in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, another avalanche cell gets called in, saving Wedge for another day. We parachute back down to the Undercity and call it a day. Unfortunately, fate has other plans. These things attack Jessie, stopping her from partaking in the bombing of Reactor 5. Meaning that once again, Cloud will be joining Avalanche for their activities. Before leaving, make sure to stock up on potions from this guy, as you can get them here at a heavily discounted price. I just ended up buying the maximum of 99. The train we're riding to Sector 5 gets ambushed by Shinra security. They know we're coming. The only solution is to fight our way off the train and jump. Barrett is now separated from us, but we'll meet up with him in a little bit. For now, we need to fight off the security in these tunnels. There will be lots of flying enemies, which unfortunately means we won't be having a nice time. When you see their laser lock onto you, guard up. If you don't, it'll stun you for an ungodly amount of time. After a few battles, we link up with Barrett. It's at this point where we finally have a party of 3. Barrett has 2 abilities. Steel Skin, which reduces Barrett's damage by 30% for 90 seconds, and Focused Shot, which will allow us to stagger enemies. This can be stacked twice to increase the stagger. As we continue deeper into the train network, we will have to fight off lots of monsters calling this area home. This is our introduction to Poison. If inflicted, it will continue dealing damage to us until the end of the fight. We can't use Materia, but an antidote item will fix this too. So be sure to have a few of those on hand. We see that Shinra is trying to neutralize the infestations with these flamethrower troopers. They do spot us too, and proceed to exterminate. Luckily, if we roll around them, we can attack the tank on their back. It'll explode, stopping them from using said flamethrowers, rendering them completely harmless. The Crab Warden is up next, and this is the toughest boss so far. He can both target all party members with his AoE flamethrower, and can target individual characters with his long-ranged missiles or Gatling guns. To gain an advantage, we can take out the legs, which will allow us to stagger him and attack the engine for insane extra damage. In Phase 2, he will launch a few drones. These are best taken care of with Barrett. Focus on taking out these drones first, and then continue destroying the Warden's legs. Whenever he begins to charge up with Surge, get off the train tracks. After he's charged up, he will release an insane voltage on said tracks, but you do get plenty of time to get into position. After destroying the pilot, you will have full access to the engine, allowing us to completely destroy it, taking down the Crab Warden. The party enters the maintenance area of the Sector 4 plate, while Biggs waits ahead, covering our rendezvous. This area is essentially a massive dungeon, with the key gimmick of turning off these 4 lights to open the way forward. The Crab Warden we just fought did drop the Metal Knuckles for Tifa. Make sure to equip these, as this is her strongest weapon by far, even when fully upgraded. It also comes with a new ability to learn, Overpower. This is another fast-hitting strike that is more about comboing multiple enemies. It can be hard to time, but get it just right, and this can deal damage to everything in its path. We do get a lot of new encounters here. These spinny enemies are best taken care of with a Punisher counter, and we need to be careful of these things, as they can put your party to sleep. To proceed through this area, we will need to use these cranes to move the bridges into the correct positions, allowing us to continue exploring, turning off the lights. Once they're all turned off, we can use this platform, moving us to the Sector 5 reactor. After fighting the last of the security systems, we meet Biggs with a cheerful hello. With our entrance secured, Biggs makes his exit, and we sneak into the reactor. We make our way far down into the heart of the Sector 5 reactor. This won't be like last time. This device has been equipped with a remote detonator, allowing us to get clear before bringing the reactor down. It's then revealed that the military has been aware of our presence for some time, and is readying their latest prototype, the Airbuster. Shinra has deployed their army to hold us off until its arrival, so we gotta move quick. Using triple slashes with Cloud is heavily recommended, as it can cut these rooms down in seconds. Barrett's new light machine gun may be worse than his current weapon for this run, but the ability Lifesaver will allow him to become the true tank of the party, absorbing all hits on other party members. This will kill him faster, but it also means you only need to keep an eye on his HP, topping it up with potions whenever necessary. After fighting through the rooms, we will be able to pick up key cards. We can use these to reduce certain stats of the upcoming boss fight. Now, I don't think this has a huge difference in this battle, but I exclusively reduced the AI cores, supposedly making the boss slower. Along the way, we even find the Sonic Strikers. This weapon is more about increasing the ATB charge rate than anything else, but it does give us the ability Focus Strike, letting Tifa stagger enemies too. A successful strike will also give back a lot of ATB, letting you spam it a little bit. We reach the exit of the reactor only to be shown just how out of control we've been this whole time. Shinra intends to use our bombings as a justification for war against the nation of Wutai. They then gain control over the bomb and rig it to explode. We've been nothing but pawns in their game. We don't have too long to ponder this, because it's time to fight. The Airbuster is a tough multi-stage boss fight. In this first phase, our party is split up on the bridge, with the Airbuster in between them. And this ain't no Scorpion. Even with his back turned, the Airbuster can attack both sides at once. Luckily, it is telegraphed, so just attack a few times and roll out to safety. The most irritating attack is this shock. If you get hit, it'll stun you for a long period of time, and the Airbuster almost always will follow up with an attack. After some time, the Airbuster will split his arms off to attack you from all 3 sides. It's also here where it'll begin using its Tank Buster attack. As soon as this starts charging up, get clear. It'll KO you immediately. We've got to take out the separated arms first, as they shoot lasers that can stun you, which will be comboed with a big bomber from the Airbuster. After destroying them, the arms will merge back with the body, allowing us to get some more damage in. At the halfway point, the Airbuster will begin flying around, meaning that Barrett is the only one able to deal damage, but it will occasionally fly back in to deal damage itself. This is our opportunity. We've got to build up a stagger to deal fast damage. Continue to stay clear of that Tank Buster attack, because it'll happen a lot more frequently. Eventually, the Airbuster goes down, but Cloud's in serious trouble. The bomb is going off, and our only escape is to jump, with our grappling hook failing from the weight. Aerith wakes us up after our light fall before we meet Reno of the Turks, an elite team that answer exclusively to the President. It seems the two have history before we have to fight his squad. We can make pretty short work of them as they're just regular infantry, but now Reno jumps in to handle us himself. He is insanely fast and can combo us easily. We can't even attack him. He will just dodge us the way of our every move. What we want to do is guard up in Punisher and wait for him to come to us. This will result in us dealing a swift counterattack and being able to follow that up with a combo of our own. In his second phase, he'll begin throwing down mines that we need to get rid of, and he'll speed himself up. But again, you can take him down the same way. Keep looking for that counter and exploit it fully. Cloud gets stopped from actually killing Reno by these ghosts that are guiding us out, and after a while we escape via the rooftops, barely dodging Reno on our way out. And as thanks for saving her, Aerith joins the party. She is a ranged fighter, much like Barrett, using her staff to shoot magic projectiles, meaning that she will get around physical resistances, and it should be noted she is the only character who can do this in the challenge. Aerith starts with two abilities. The first, Arcane Ward, is worthless. It doubles materia attacks which we can't use. The other is Soul Drain. This deals light damage and recovers MP. Not particularly useful either, but she'll get some stronger abilities in just a bit. The enemies we'll be fighting in the Sector 5 slums won't be too bad for the most part. We do find a few smoggers which are tanky, but you can take care of them quickly as Cloud. But do be sure to run away after defeating them as they self-destruct. After a whole lot of monkey climbing, we get Aerith back home safely. Before leaving, she gets Cloud all embarrassed, flirtingly blackmailing him into picking up some flowers for the local orphanage. We pick said flowers before the kids tell us that some weird guy has been hanging around them. While finding said guy, we find out that some kids are trapped by the monsters, so we'll have to deal with that too. There are lots of enemies here, so doing a triple slash with Cloud is going to be very effective here. Another attribute with Aerith's basic attacks is that each continued hit will target multiple enemies, also allowing for some insane multi-targeting. After defeating the enemies, we rescue the kids and see that this hooded man was hanging around, a victim of Mako poisoning. It's now that Aerith informs us of the struggles faced by the people of Sector 5, giving us access to a lot of side quests. The Moogle side quest is the easiest in the game. Just talk to, this Moogle. Did he skin that thing? No wonder they look so horrifying in Rebirth. Anyway, just buy this membership card with those Moogle medals you've been picking up throughout the game, and it's finished. You can actually buy quite a few things from this guy now, including the silver staff for Aerith and this graveyard key, both of which you should buy right now. If you have any extras, you can then go for these books. They will give one of the characters an additional 10 SP to spend on their weapon skill trees, so it is worth it. Now, the Silver Staff is a pretty cool weapon. Most of Aerith's weapons are basic stat upgrades, so always switch to the next weapon until you get her best one. This staff also gives us Sorcerous Storm, a massive AoE lightning strike that attacks anything in the area. This is one of Aerith's best abilities for this run, and we will be making constant use of it. Kids on Patrol starts off with us needing to find all the orphans around the Sector 5 Undercity. They're pretty easy to spot, as they all have a wooden buster sword on their backs. After finding all of them and reminding of their school duties, they hire Cloud for 3 gil. The mission: eliminate the Toad King, terrorizing their hideout. These hedgehogs can be pretty tough as they move around a lot. A Punisher counter with Cloud will be the best bet against them. The Toad King encounter can be pretty tough. After a while, he will throw loads of buffs on the hedgehogs in the arena with him, buffing up their defense stats significantly. Take out the hedgehogs as fast as you can, and this will leave the king remaining. He is pretty fast, so try to stagger him. Easily done with a Punisher counter and a focus thrust. And once he's staggered, you can easily deal some insane damage, defeating the Toad King and clearing the hideout for the kids. For our efforts, we get the Nail Bat weapon. This is a weapon I rarely use, and looking at the stats will show you very quickly why. This weapon forgoes the more basic stat increases over increasing critical hits. The new ability Disorder is pretty cool. It's a wide attack that will also place you into Cloud's other stance, so, you know, pick it up. This is a pretty fun side quest. We've just got to finish the Whacker Box minigame. You should prioritise the smaller boxes, and when you get 2 ATBs charged, use a pair of Bravers on the large box to take it out instantly. While the rewards here aren't particularly useful, it is another side quest completed. We meet this reporter looking into a Robin Hood-esque thief giving stolen loot to the people of the slums. And he's received a tip that the Angel of the Slums is nearby, sending us off to the drop point, where we need to fight this thing. It's very resistant to physical damage, so Aerith will be our primary attacker. The big problem is this guy's super attack, Skullcracker, will kill her in a single hit. So we need to distract him with Cloud while swapping to Aerith to use plenty of Tempests. This did take a few tries, but keep at it and it'll go down. We find out the Angel was expecting us and issues a warning to that reporter, who does not take it seriously at all. This guy informs us of Shinra weapons that have escaped from the Reactor. There are 2 groups of these flying around the first half of the area. These guys aren't tough, but they are pretty damn annoying. They will create either a magical or physical barrier around them, nullifying damage of that type. They also move around very fast, making actual abilities difficult to land. Again, this isn't a difficult fight, it's just annoying. We take care of both groups of weapons, swiftly completing the mission. The final side quest of the chapter involves us clearing out this graveyard. Again, make sure you bought the graveyard key earlier to actually enter the area. We're going to have to fight these scorpion guys again from chapter 5. They can be pretty tough, as remember they inflict slow and poison. But I found that keeping control of Cloud and focusing on one at a time worked pretty well. Look out for their torpid sting attack and roll to the side of them, and they'll go down, allowing Aerith to pay her respects. With that, we finished up for the day and go home. On our way back, we meet another Turk, Rude, and he's looking for payback for Reno. Rude is the complete opposite of Reno. Instead of running around, he will bulk up his defense and stay put. He can counter you while he's in a stance, so running in swinging isn't going to cut it here. Instead, let him come to you. Counter his light attacks in Punisher and that should give you an opening. After he enters phase 2, he will become a lot more active. Our previous strategy will no longer work. You need to keep on the move to avoid his attacks and get some light damage in whenever you have an opportunity. Once you've built up enough ATB, hit him with Bravers. If Rude changes his stance, switch to Aerith and use Tempest, as it will leave him open for a few seconds. Eventually, we get the upper hand and Rude retreats. We escort Aerith back home before her mother tells us to leave and to never see Aerith again. Cloud reluctantly agrees and we sneak out, leaving for Sector 7. Walking through Sector 5, Aerith meets us. Despite just promising Elmira that we'd stay away from Aerith, we let her tag along. She'll be taking us through the old collapsed tunnels of Sector 6, a shortcut to get to the Sector 7 gate. It may be a shortcut, but that doesn't mean it isn't dangerous. This place is filled with crooks and monsters alike. There is a step up in difficulty here too, but it's nothing Cloud and Aerith shouldn't be able to handle. Due to the tunnels being collapsed, we need to use these giant hands to move Aerith ahead to open the way forward. We eventually also meet a band of criminals living in these ruins, but they aren't exactly a tough challenge. But Cloud does finally complete his arc of learning how to high-five. The two now reach the Sector 7 boundary. Just before entering, the gates unlock and we find out that Tifa is on her way to meet with one Don Corneo, the head of a criminal syndicate running a lawless place called Wall Market. She insists she can handle Corneo, but Aerith is determined to help her regardless. We quickly find out to get to Tifa, we'll need to trick them into letting us inside. Introducing Madam M. She says if we win her the cash prize of tonight's Colosseum tournament, she would give Aerith a new dress and a ticket to the Don's Manor. Cloud thinks he can handle it, but Aerith insists that he'll need her help. Together, they will fight whatever Wall Market can throw at them. The first match is against a whole lot of hounds and their master. We want to be using our multi-targeting and AoE attacks, triple slashes as Cloud and Sorcerer's Storms as Aerith. We also picked up Hard Edge. This is Cloud's strongest weapon in this challenge. Just look at that attack stat. The ability we get, Infinity's End, is also one of the strongest in the entire game. It'll require 2 ATBs and a long wind-up, but use it just right, and nothing will live after that hit. Each round in the arena will get progressively tougher until we are matched against the Don's best fighter. The Hell House is the toughest boss so far, and we're going to have to play our best to have even a chance at winning here. Physical attacks aren't going to be very effective at all. Even Infinity's End won't deal any more than 200 damage, so we'll need to use Aerith and her Tempest. The Hell House will eventually enter his God House mode, which will reduce magic damage too, stopping us from dealing any sort of actual damage. There are 2 times he's open. If we can pressure the Hell House, we'll have an opening to stagger it, giving us an opportunity to attack again with Aerith, as well as being able to stagger him, giving us the damage multiplier. The Hell House is also open when switching elements. This is for a much shorter duration of time, but it happens pretty consistently. Renewed Hospitality can be an annoying attack. It'll suck in a party member and won't let them out unless enough damage has been dealt. And if Aerith happens to be the one to get caught, you'd better get ready with a Phoenix down. Near the end of the fight, the Hell House will go berserk, flying around more while constantly firing projectiles at you. Eventually, he'll come crashing down, and this is our best opportunity to strike. He will continue dealing insane damage, and at this point, we are essentially on a timer. Try to build up ATB with Cloud while using Tempests as Aerith. It gets close, but we just barely pull through, destroying the Hell House. Before leaving and returning to Madam M, make sure you go right back to the arena. There will be a couple of challenges we need to do right now, specifically the Aerith and Cloud challenges. Upon completion, these will give each respective character their upgraded limit break, and if we do not complete Aerith's right now, she won't get that upgrade, period. These challenges are luckily pretty damn easy. We have fought these enemies countless times. Cloud's second limit break, Ascension, is a series of fast, hard-hitting slashes that will also fill the stagger of the target significantly. On the other hand, Aerith's second limit break, Planet's Protection, literally makes the entire party invulnerable to all physical damage for about a minute. After finishing all that off, we pay Madam M her money, and she readies up Aerith. This gives Cloud a bit of free time, and so begins another couple side quests. Burning Thighs is up first. We travel to the local gym and meet with a few of the regulars, who then challenge us to a squat off. This is a simple button timing minigame. Just get into a rhythm of sorts, and you should be good to go. After clearing the first difficulty, we will unlock 2 more. The final difficulty is certainly a challenge. Not only do we need to be doing the minigame for far longer, but the AI only makes 1 mistake, essentially meaning you have to play perfectly. This is tough, but totally doable, and our reward is the Champion's Belt. It'll raise our strength by 5%, and our HP for 10 too. This, with Hard Edge, is most of Cloud's build complete. This second side quest is one of the mutually exclusives. It's essentially us running around with Johnny, looking for the source. This has completely no combat, and so we'll just skip over it. The final mutually exclusive side quest in the game is a dynamite body. We need to complete an extra Colosseum challenge against a couple bombs. These guys can hit hard and can counter our attacks with their swell ability. As time goes on, the bombs will get bigger and bigger until they self-destruct. We need to take them out fast. Build up your ATB and throw Bravers at them, hopefully defeating them before they can self-destruct. Sam thanks us for our work around Wall Market and turns in for the night. With all these side quests cleared, we meet Aerith, who informs us of a way we can get Cloud through the door too. But first,
we need to meet with Andrea of the Honeybee Inn. He will grant our request on one condition: a f***ing dance battle. And these ain't the moves of an amateur. After we win over Andrea, he proceeds to cross-dress Cloud, allowing him and Aerith to enter the perverted creep's manor. After making Cloud and us significantly uncomfortable, we corner the Don and get him talking. Shinra plans to drop the Sector 7 plate on the slums to eliminate Avalanche. This will not only kill everyone in that section of the slums, but everyone living on the plate too. We need to move. But before we can, the Don throws us deep into the sewers, confident that he's already won. We wake up deep under the slums, but we aren't left alone too long. The Don's pet Abzu is here to take care of us. Abzu is insanely strong. If he combos you when you're not ready, he can take you down from full HP. Our best bet here is to keep up a relentless assault. We can also attack the left horn with Aerith to deal some consistent damage throughout the whole fight. When he jumps out of range, swap to Aerith to deal as much magical damage as possible. Just be ready for when he jumps back down. If he catches anyone in that jump down, make sure to have a powerful ability ready, as it'll pressure Abzu, leaving him open. This is the best opportunity to get as many attacks in as you can. We can counter Ground Pound in Punisher for an easy opening too. Blackwater Blast is a little hard to look at, but easy to dodge. Keep up the assault, and when he's finally staggered, unleash your limit break, and by then it should be over. After some running around, we find Tifa's feathered gloves. This weapon may not be better than our metal knuckles, but finding it is insane, as the ability Star Shower is probably her best one. It's a flurry of attacks that can hit multiple enemies at once. It does have a long charge up, but once you've started attacking, nothing will interrupt you. These crab enemies have a slight physical resistance, meaning that Aerith is the best fighter, ignoring that physical resistance to instead attack with her magic. After just barely getting through the waterways, we find that the exit has been flooded. But after a quick minigame, Tifa is able to drain the water, but this angers the Sahagins living here. They are going to keep coming with no real end to them. We want to build up ATB with Cloud and defeat them with Bravers ASAP. This is because they can use annoying abilities like Jump and can turn us into frogs, which is less than ideal. We just barely fight off the Horde, giving us an escape. The Turks are already en route to the pillar to drop the plate. We need to hurry. We may be in Sector 7, but between us and the pillar is the train graveyard, a rumoured cursed place where the lost spirits of Midgar gather. And this place is crawling with enemies, the most irritating of which are these ghosts. They can become invulnerable to either physical or magical damage, indicated by the status here. When physically immune, switch to Aerith, and when magically immune, swap to Cloud or Tifa. Our presence isn't unnoticed for too long, because the Master Spirit comes out to play. The goal can be pretty tough when you don't know exactly how he works. He will alternate his immunities every time he's pressured. You can tell what his immunities are based on his colours. When he's blue and dark, he is immune to Aerith's magic, so we'll need to attack with Cloud and Tifa. And when he's red, the opposite. Attack with Aerith, not Cloud and Tifa. He's got a few pretty annoying abilities, the worst of which is his scream. This will paralyse everyone around him for a long time, which will eventually result in also being attacked by him. Watch out for the environment, as he can literally throw it at you. On top of that, every now and then he will just decide to shuffle the arena around a bit, for fun I suppose. It can be a bit tedious, but if we can stagger the goal, it'll lose all immunities, giving you an excellent few seconds to unleash everything you've got, which will hopefully be enough to defeat him. With the goal defeated, the lost spirits will return to the planet, as they should be. Exploring the outside, we can finally see the pillar, along with reinforcements. We're running out of time. We need to move these trains to use them as bridges to get past. The trains aren't running, but luckily the ghosts will help us a bit. Most of the enemies from this point on will also be no issue. Just keep using AoE attacks on large groups of enemies. After a bit more train graveyarding, the gatekeeper, Eligor, is the final obstacle in our way to stopping Shinra's plans in Sector 7. Eligor can be tough if you don't know what you're doing. He can attack at range while having a lot of fast-hitting melee options. Watch out for Sweeping Gaze, as this will put anyone who gets hit by it to sleep. To avoid it, just keep rolling backwards. Avoiding multiple attacks continuously will pressure Eligor, stunning him for a brief period of time. You can also Punisher counter his close range swings, letting you get some easy damage in. Once phase 2 begins, he will fly around the arena, where he will also cast Reflect. Any attacks from Aerith will come right back to her. While waiting for Reflect to disappear, we can get in a few hits with Cloud and Tifa, but again, flying enemies are not fun. His attack, Javelin Bolts, can hit hard if you're not ready for them, but luckily you can see exactly where they will land beforehand, so get out of the way as soon as you see it being used and you should get away unscathed. Eventually he'll come back down, where we can repeat the strategy of Punisher counters to stagger him. The final phase is the easiest. Destroy the 2 wheels immediately to stagger Eligor and attack him relentlessly. This should defeat him, clearing the chapter. We finally reach the pillar. Barrett and the rest of Avalanche are holding off Shinra, but they can't keep it up forever. We need to take action. Cloud goes it alone while Tifa mends to Wedge's wounds, and Aerith finds Marlene. Cloud needs to fight harder than he ever has. We need to fight our way to the top of the pillar to support Barrett. But there's a whole army in our way. We'll be introduced to elite riot troopers, which have the shield, increased health, and can hit us at range. But the far more irritating new enemy is the Helitrooper. These guys will hover completely out of range, rendering any kind of attack impossible. Our best bet is to try to aggro them far away from the ledges, or counter their fast physical attack. But this counter is both finicky and can leave you taking unnecessary damage waiting for that attack. After climbing enough floors, we find Biggs, who's taken a real beating. His last wish is that his death will not be for nothing. All we can do is keep moving. It's even more hopeless when the Turks show up. Reno recognizes Cloud and gets him pinned down against cover, waiting for an opening. Just when all seems lost, Tifa comes to our rescue, splitting the attention of the chopper. We can continue making our way up the pillar, weaving in and out of fire while keeping up the assault. With 2 characters, most of these encounters immediately get easier, the biggest example being the riot troopers. With good switching, these guys are made practically redundant. Near the top of the pillar, we find Jessie, who's looking pretty bad. All we can do is keep moving. We meet with Barrett, who's kept control of the top level, but just then, the Turks jump in themselves. Reno makes it past us and readies the program to drop the plate, but it seems he and Rude are looking to get some payback. To stop the pillar separation, we'll need to beat them both. We fight Reno first. He is even faster and stronger than our last fight with him. He will rarely remain still, and our counter strats don't work quite the same, as he will electrify his baton, giving us a shock. The best strategy I landed on was dealing damage to Reno while he was attacking another party member. Just make sure to heal them right afterwards. Once dealing enough damage, Rude will be attacking from his chopper. This is a target only Barrett will be able to hit, but it shouldn't take too long to take down the helicopter. And now, Reno and Rude will team up to take us down. While the 2 are on the field, they will be combining their attacks, so we want to focus on taking each one down individually. In my opinion, Reno is the far more dangerous target, so focus on him, while trying to distract Rude with Barrett. Once one of them goes down, the other will be no problem at all. However, it seems to be all for nothing. We can't deactivate the plate separation protocol, and as soon as Tifa lets her guard down, Rude takes her down, giving the final confirmation on the drop. With the 2 escaping via helicopter, Song, leader of the Turks, informs us that he has taken Aerith, the last living ancient. She claims to have taken Marlene someplace safe, but before she can further clarify, the video feed gets cut. The entire sector is coming down, with Cloud, Tifa and Barrett just barely escaping with their lives. We can only look on at the devastated Sector 7. The cruelty of Shinra to its own people is jaw-dropping. It's there where we see a bit of hope, Before the collapse, Aerith said she took Marlene somewhere safe. The party makes a dash to Aerith's house, where we find her sleeping soundly. It's here when we realise we have to go back to search for survivors. If we don't, who will? Unfortunately, the way back to Sector 7 is blocked because, you know. Luckily, Aerith showed us another way to the sector, as if it was fate. This area of the collapsed expressway is a lot tougher than the rest of it. We need to watch out for bandits as they can lay mines that stun us. To take out the big guy, keep up the assault while using focus shots with Barrett. There will be so many enemies here, but keep it up and you'll eventually make it through, back to the ruined Sector 7 park. We can get Barrett's next weapon, Big Bertha, here too. Big Bertha will be Barrett's best weapon for this challenge, as it prioritises the attack stat, but this isn't why I'm excited to get it. The ability Maximum Fury is one of Barrett's best. It shoots a barrage of overwhelming firepower at an individual target. If used with 2 ATBs, it will last significantly longer too. During this next segment, we will be in complete control of Barrett, exploring this old Shinra facility. We won't be getting Cloud at all for the rest of this chapter. It's nothing to worry about now that Barrett has his new ability. This cuts through everything. We will find Tifa eventually, who will join us in the search for survivors. It takes a little while, but we do find Wedge before getting locked inside this room. We'll need to take out waves of these experiments. Using Star Shower near a massive group of enemies can cut them down in seconds. And you can use Barrett to take out the stragglers. After defeating a few of them, the big guy appears. Tifa and Barrett begin this fight split up. We need to defeat all the entities up here to get Tifa back to the main area. While doing this, we want Barrett to be constantly attacking the appendage, which is weak to physical damage, and this will stun the failed experiment for a long duration of time, while exposing its heart, acting as the weak spot to the failed experiment. After defeating all the enemies, Phase 2 will begin, and the experiment will get a lot more dangerous, as the experiment will pick up each one and use Fling to toss them at you, which deals insane damage. On top of that, eventually they will gain immunities and begin healing the experiment. Keep taking down the entities as Tifa while keeping up the assault on the boss as Barrett, using Maximum Fury whenever you get the opportunity. Once all the entities are gone, you can use Tifa to deal heavy physical damage, and the boss should be beaten, with Cloud dropping in right at the end to deal the finishing blow. We find Wedge and take him back to Aerith's house. Late in the night, Cloud gets a vision from Aerith. She needs to be saved. The issue? With an entire sector destroyed, Shinra's trains aren't running, so we'll need to figure out another way to get topside. But before that, we need to help the entire Undercity, finishing the final set of 9 side quests. Up first is Chocobo Search. Sam has lost 3 Chocobos after the fall of the plate, and we need to get them back. The first 2 Chocobos aren't too bad to get. The Flying Drakes will have a gravity move that really hurts, but other than that, it's all good. To free the 3rd Chocobo, however, it'll require us to kill these tentacle creatures, who have some insane defense. This had me very worried, but what we want to do is hit them while they dance. This will create a clone of the monster, and upon defeating the clone, their HP will drop significantly. And once you know that, they go down pretty fast, beating the side quest, granting us more fast travel points, and making said fast travel free. This side quest simply requires us to play 3 music discs, all found in the Wool Market area, and once they've been collected and played, the mission is complete. Simple. While we're at Wool Market, we revisit the gym, with Andrea challenging Tifa to a pull-up competition. This is a far more difficult version of the squats minigame from Chapter 9. The pattern is not only more complex, but after half-time, we need to do the pattern in the reverse order. After beating Andrea, we will then unlock the other difficulties just like the last time. We will also want to beat these specifically to get another champion's belt. The last one against the coach can be pretty tough. You want to ignore what the AI is doing, as they will very often be ahead of you by a couple of points, but they will tend to mess up right at the end, letting you clutch victory just barely, giving us Tifa's final setup. On our way out of Wool Market, Madam M stops us. Apparently, Corneo's goons are still looking for Barrett, and they think he's at Aerith's house. So, we need to race back to deal with them. It's revealed that the goons have captured a Tonberry, which we need to take out. We need to watch out for his chef's knife attack, as this will one-shot any character, regardless of HP. If you are able to dodge it, you can stagger him a lot easier, and once he's staggered, that's the end of that. The goons proceed to swear not to tell a soul where we were before taking off. We find out that the children of the orphanage have gone missing. They have seemingly gone off to the graveyard. To save them, we will need to fight 2 phantoms. These enemies will phase in and out of being visible, but you'll know where they are if you keep a lookout for the text of their abilities. After either dodging or countering their attacks, you will have a brief window when you can attack them before the cycle repeats itself, and the children will reappear with their spirits free again. The reporter from Chapter 8 has found another lead, a way of robbing Don Corneo blind. All we need to do is find the key, which has reportedly been stolen by local thief Kyrie, who's held up in Aerith's church. On our way to meet her, Johnny claims that she also stole his wallet, so we'll put this quest on hold for now and begin Tomboy Bandit. Before confronting her, we pick up these mushrooms. This will be important later. Anyways, Kyrie says she's in trouble. She stole from Shinra and they want to make her pay, organising a battle in the Wool Market Coliseum. She says that if we can clean this up for her, she will give us back both Johnny's wallet and the Corneo key. So we don't really have a choice. The battle involves the Wolf Keeper from earlier along with the Hellhound. We want to defeat the human first, allowing us to focus on the Hound. The best opportunity to get good damage in is when he's breathing fire. This will keep him in place until the move is over. Roll around him and unleash your ATB. After a while he should be defeated, and after beating the pair, Kyrie gives us both Corneo's key and Johnny's wallets. Fun fact, returning Johnny's wallet is completely optional, so I'm not doing it. Sorry, Johnny. People have been hearing noises near that Shinra research lab we went to just earlier, and it's up to us to investigate it. Most of the path through the lab remains open, although there are a few engineered monsters still running around that we'll have to take care of. Eventually, we find the source of the noise deep in the lab, a Type 0 behemoth. The behemoth is quite a fight. He specialises in hard-hitting physical attacks, so we need to immobilise him quickly. Using Cloud, we want to focus on destroying the lower body. Once that's been destroyed, he will crawl around on the floor and will try to swing at you with his arms. You can punish a counter these while targeting the upper body. Eventually, that upper body will be destroyed too, staggering the behemoth, letting us attack with the whole party. When the stagger eventually runs out, the behemoth will regenerate his limbs, so just keep repeating the previous strategy and you should be fine. Upon defeating him, we get a key item as a reward for completing the side quest. You remember those 3 key items we've collected? Well, they're all used for this side quest with the city doctor. And because we've gotten all the ingredients for his new medicines, the side quest is over before it even started. Now, we aren't finished just yet. We have a few more Coliseum challenges to get through really quickly, which is also an excellent time to use our new weapons. Cloud's new Mithril Saber is his magic focus sword. As such, it neglects his attack stat, making it non-optimal. The ability Blade Burst sends 3 beams along the ground that can damage several enemies. It's going to be pretty useful when dealing with multiple enemies at range. Tifa's weapon, Mithril Claws, is the same story. This is her magic focus weapon, so it's not going to be better than the Metal Knuckles. The ability Chi Trap is something of a black hole, sucking in enemies, letting us deal damage to all of them at once far easier. Barrett has 2 new weapons, with both of them being quite unique. Both Wrecking Ball and Steel Pincers are melee-focused weapons, meaning that they stop Barrett from being a primarily ranged fighter. As such, in this challenge, it's not recommended to use them at all after getting the abilities. The first is Smackdown, a ground pound attack that is Barrett's only AoE move, and Charging Uppercut, a way to close the distance while dealing a powerful strike to the locked-on foe. After getting all these abilities, we will have finished the Colosseum challenges, unlocking both Tifa and Barret's upgraded limit breaks. And now that we've done all that, it's time for the main scenario. The party find out that Don Corneo may be able to get them topside, but since the plate came crashing down, he's nowhere to be seen. However, Leslie, one of the Don's lackeys, says he can help us, in return for clearing out the sewers of monsters. So we do just that. Leslie does have an ulterior motive for coming down here. After hearing about the Don's involvement in the Sector 7 plan, he's here to kill him. Unfortunately, Corneo is one step ahead and is ready to pull the trigger, but Cloud puts a stop to the execution. But, as said, the Don is always a move ahead. He summons Abzu back for seconds. Abzu is going to be a lot tougher this time, even bringing in over 10 small minions. His attacks are roughly the same, but they pack an even bigger punch. We want to focus on triple slashes as Cloud to defeat the minions quickly. When the smaller guys disappear, we want to focus on a relentless assault on Abzu. This can be difficult as he has a habit of breaking out of combos, but if we can pressure him, he'll remain stationary for some time, giving you the best opportunity to deal damage. With every new phase, he will revive all his minions as well as adding a few more. So, just like earlier, triple slash the lot and get right back to the assault. Once again, we need to watch out for that lovely 4K water whenever it appears. Attacking at range with Barret using maximum furies as much as you can is ideal, as it'll give Cloud and Tifa time to build up their own ATBs. Honestly, we can just use the same strategy as last time for the most part. Keep up the pressure with all members, and once Abzu is staggered, he should be defeated. The Don has gotten away, but Leslie makes good on his promise, giving us some grappling guns which we can use to get to the top of Sector 7, getting to the Shinra building. Now that we have finished all the story, we can finish off that Corneo side quest. All we gotta do is unlock these 3 doors and get all the loot. The main reason we waited until now to do them is because one of these stashes are in the sewer section. After getting all the treasure, we give them to the survivors of Sector 7, completing the final side quest in the game. We reach the wall of Sector 6, and with our grappling guns, we make our way to Sector 7. We reach the ruins of the Sector 7 plate. This area is completely devastated. We need to climb through this ruined sector to get topside. This entire area is unstable, so we'll be using our grappling guns to climb up. It's not too long before Shinra detect us and we need to fight through them. These will be some of the toughest encounters we've faced so far. Also introducing many new flying enemies like the elite Helitrooper. Don't even bother attacking these with anyone other than Barret. Charge up 2 ATBs and unleash maximum fury. We'll be facing wave after wave without reprieve. When waiting for the next squad, take the time to heal up with any spare ATB you may have. All we have to do is keep moving ahead. Eventually, Shinra's elite unit Valkyrie spots us, so we'll have to deal with that shooting at us while we continue our climb. After some more grappling and defeating robot spiders, we reach the very top of the Sector 7 ruins. But it's here where the Valkyrie decides to ambush us. The Valkyrie is the most irritating boss in this challenge, exclusively because it is the game's only flying boss, meaning that Barret will be used the most here. Keeping pressure on the Valkyrie will force it to ground level, where Tifa and Cloud can get some damage in. Try to go for a stagger if you can, and this will push the boss to Phase 2, where the Valkyrie will launch a laser targeter, so we're going to have to avoid that while we're keeping up our assault. But there is a strategy to speed this fight up significantly. If we can position the laser pointed inside the Valkyrie, it'll fire, dealing a lot of damage to the boss, along with downing it for a few seconds, allowing the whole party to get damage in. On top of that, it should be pretty much staggered, allowing you to finally defeat the Valkyrie. We reach the Shinra building. Operation Save Aerith has commenced. We sneak into the building via the garage below. Just as we seem clear of security, Barret falls, and now we have to fight our way to the top of the building. This floor houses all kinds of tough enemies, from hounds and elite troopers to soldiers. To get through this, we need to be making constant use of everybody. Barret will be used as a tank, soaking up the damage. Tifa will keep up a relentless assault, while Cloud slashes through the ranks. After fighting through the first floor, we reach the lobby, which is mysteriously empty. We do a whole lot of weird platforming to get a key card, and after 59 flights of stairs, we reach the Sky View, where we get to go on a tour exploring the history of the Shinra Electric Power Company. This is a really cool section, allowing you to get more lore on each division of the company. After watching a cool cinematic with no foreshadowing whatsoever, we meet the Mayor of Midgar, who has been helping us not get caught by security this whole time. He despises Shinra for essentially making him a librarian, and is willing to help us get Aerith back, but we need to prove ourselves in the VR simulator. This is a really good opportunity to talk about the final weapons for Barret and Tifa. Barret's EKG cannon doesn't have better stats, but the ability Point Blank will let him shoot a close-ranged finisher move that deals insane damage. And Tifa's Purple Pain, which is also not better stat-wise. True Strike is a way of increasing the stagger multiplier, but we won't have many opportunities to use it in the rest of the challenge. With these new abilities, we can beat the VR missions with ease, getting a new keycard. With said keycard, we're able to eavesdrop on the President's meeting to find out that Hojo is keeping Aerith in his lab. We tail him before he sets his latest experiment on us. The specimen can be quite irritating. As the fight begins, it'll spawn several smaller samples. We want to use triple slash to take them down. The specimen will move around slowly unless he uses Rake, which is a homing strike, but you can punish a counter this. We want to destroy the left claw as this will pressure him. This is best done with a star shower. As soon as that pressure state is up, he will regrow his limb, allowing us to destroy it again. During the second phase, the specimen will create even more clones that spin around everywhere on top of self-destructing if they get too close. But he will also use an ability called Mako Expulsion. This casts poison and slow on all affected party members, and the boss will continue casting this, essentially putting us on a timer. You need to put everything you've got into destroying his limbs, and Punisher countering his every move. It gets close, but we clutch a victory. We go up the elevator and find Aerith. After another small fight, we free her and meet the talking dog Red 13, and immediately after, Cloud passes out. We wake up in Aerith's room. The whole party is waiting on us. It seems as though the entire Shinra building is on lockdown, but Wedge has provided an escape plan. A chopper will arrive to extract us from the roof. We just have to get there, which is made a bit more complicated when Sephiroth shows up, forcing us to explore the drum. During this dungeon, the party will be split up, forcing us to use these PHS terminals to swap back and forth. That's a neat Easter egg. But we will also have the lab rat dog Red 13 himself backing us up. Red is a guest party member, so he is completely controlled by AI, and that AI may just decide to use some materia, which is a-okay as it's completely out of our control. The downside is that it's completely out of our control. We cannot get him to use it. Red will decide when the moment is right. After a little while, we will have to swap over to Tifa and Aerith. It's been some time since we've used Aerith, and since then we've picked up a few new weapons. The Reinforced Staff is an okay weapon, but the ability ATB Ward is a sigil we can cast underneath any party member. When using ATB in said sigil, it will decrease the cost of the move, allowing you to perform some insane combos for half the cost. And we also get Aerith's best weapon, Mithril Rod. The magic attack we get from this is insane, as is the ability Ray of Judgment. It costs 2 ATB, but it'll release a ray of pure light, destroying anything in its way, on top of increasing the stagger multiplier of all foes it hits too. With these new moves and Tifa's unbridled strength, we can make short work of everything in our path, opening the way ahead for Cloud's team. It's here we find Cloud's final weapon, Twin Stinger. This is honestly a pretty mediocre weapon stat-wise, but the ability Counter Stance is broken as all hell. It will allow us to counter any kind of hit with devastating efficiency. You do need to time this perfectly, but do it properly and that target won't be a target much longer. After some more exploring, we find what seems to be an experimental chamber before a mini-boss appears, the Brain Pod. The big gimmick with this guy is that it'll continue casting poison on you, and at the halfway point, it'll duplicate itself about a dozen times, with each of these having its own health bar, and they all need to be taken out fast. We need to be spamming out triple slashes as Cloud to cut through the ranks, while Barret throws potions our way. Things do admittedly get close, but the fight gets easier the more of them you take down. So if you can survive long enough to take about half of them down, you've practically made it through. Red 13 proceeds to get ambushed, so we need Tifa's team to catch up to him. This is pretty tough, mostly due to these sledge worms. They just don't stay still enough for you to get a star shower off. So just take your time dealing pot shots. It may be stressful with that health bar at the top, but you have plenty of time. With Red 13 rescued, the final ward awaits. We need to fight Swordipede. This thing will move around pretty slowly around the square arena. It's very easy to get Punisher counters when he's near the floor, but when he's way up in the sky, use Barret. Honestly, this phase of the fight shouldn't take you too long. Once the boss reaches phase 2, he will cut through the building, and we need to fight him as Aerith and Tifa. The arena here is a lot smaller, and the Swordipede will be going around it constantly, while causing constant touch damage. We want to charge up Aerith's ATB, and when we get an opening, unleash a Ray of Judgment. While this is going off, we want to keep him in place with a Star Shower from Tifa. Hopefully this will be enough to defeat him in one swoop. After defeating the Swordipede, we are able to get back to the top of the drum, only to find Jenova is gone. All that remains is a trail of alien blood, which we follow. It goes all the way up to the President's office, where we watch as Sephiroth kills him, before summoning Jenova, the calamity of the skies. The fight against Jenova is a unique one. She specializes in debuffs and counterattacks. The debuffs are easy enough to dodge, stay out of this homing ooze on the floor, or it'll inflict you with stop, allowing Jenova to strike you down. If we attack with any physical move while she is using rejection, she will counter our hit with a powerful strike. However, you can counter this counter, and done just right, it will pressure her. Once reaching phase 2, Jenova will become invincible. We're going to need to destroy dozens of these tentacles as soon as we can. These things will keep on coming, and the best way to get rid of them is, you guessed it, a triple slash. But Aerith's base attack is pretty good too. After defeating the lot, Jenova will be vulnerable again. If by chance you can stagger her, we need Aerith and Tifa ready to increase that stagger percentage, which should deal enough damage to get us to the final phase, where she will go all out. Lots more debuffs along with more tentacles to attack you. We want to destroy her arms, as this will be enough to pressure her. However, she will become invulnerable when she notices this. You want to get her to counter you, and you'll need to counter that counter. Luckily, by this point, we also had a limit break, which just barely defeated her. It's then when Sephiroth comes back and takes off with Jenova's body. Cloud gives chase, but he just barely gets away. Our escape chopper gets blown out of the sky by the new president, Rufus Shinra. Cloud is going to have to hold him off alone as the others get Aerith to safety. Rufus has a few very unique but very annoying attributes. He moves very fast, will counter any physical attack, and can combo you with his dog, Darkstar. To break their link, we can Punisher counter one of Darkstar's attacks, and then build up ATB while keeping up a relentless assault against them. Eventually, only Rufus will remain, with him getting a lot more dangerous. An easy way to cheese this fight is to use the ATB to pause buffer, wait until Rufus begins rushing towards you, and use counter stance. This will immediately counter his attack and deal insane damage. Meanwhile, Aerith, Barret and Red have to deal with the Arsenal. This is a super heavy battle tank with a shield. Red can destroy the shield, but he needs an opening. Charge up an overcharge with Barret and unleash it when the Arsenal is about to use primary fire. This will let Red stagger one of the 3 drones, and with a maximum fury, we can destroy them one by one. Once the barrier is gone, we can begin dealing damage to the boss. Our strategy will remain roughly the same. We want to build up ATB, and as soon as the Arsenal charges up primary fire, we want to overcharge it with Barret. This will pressure it, allowing us to take out the wheels, decreasing its mobility. Whenever it fires homing lasers at us, we need to take cover behind one of the pillars and guard. The pillars should stop most of them, but the guard is in case any slip through. Occasionally, he'll use pulse cannon. You will need to get behind something immediately. This attack will destroy whatever it hits, so we need to take it down before it destroys all the cover. As the fight goes on, it'll try to keep Barret and Aerith separated with firewalls. They will disappear after a few seconds, but you've got to make sure to keep the party healed up. In the final phase, it'll use its desperation move, Cry Havoc. This will be a complete AoE laser covering the entire room. And after this pillar gets destroyed, we're all out of cover. We've got to pull out all the stops and hit the Arsenal quick with everything we've got, just barely defeating it. It seems to have been a wasted effort though. Heidegger has us and the building completely surrounded. Just as Barret prepares to fight till the end, Cloud comes up to save them via motorbike, looking sick as hell while doing so, with the entire party escaping via the window. We make it out of Sector 0. Stopping to catch our breath, we see the entire Shinra building engulfed by the Whispers, the Arbiters of Fate. They are attempting to keep the characters on their predetermined destinies set out in the OG Final Fantasy VII. We can't stay here. There are more battalions inbound. We race along the Shinra Expressway. We're going to have to fight off everything Shinra can throw at us before they let us leave Midgar. This is easily one of the coolest sections of the entire game, and we even get a quick boss fight in this style, with Red 13 dealing the finishing blow. It's here, at the edges of Midgar, we find Sephiroth. We're ready to fight, but instead Sephiroth invites us to fight Destiny itself. We follow him, only to find the Whispers completely devastate Midgar in their attempts to stop us. We are going to have to fight these 3 Whispers several times in this fight. We are always going to want to focus on the red one. He's the most dangerous out of the 3, with hard-hitting melee options, along with ranged sword beams. We can use a counter stance to obliterate this guy with Cloud. When the red guy goes down, next focus on the blue melee fighter. This Whisper can be taken down in a multitude of ways, but distracting it with another character while you go in for free damage is what I found to work best. Just be sure to heal them right after. The final 3rd Whisper is the Gunner. Honestly, this guy is no issue at all. They can only really target a single party member at a time, so if he's left as the last one, it's a non-issue. Now, as said previously, you will need to fight these 3 multiple times, which can get annoying, but stick to the strategy and it'll be over before you know it. With Destiny defied, there's only one fight remaining. It's time to take on the One-Winged Angel. Sephiroth is going to be tough. You cannot attack him when idle, as he will block and parry every move you throw at it. We need to let him attack us and dodge that move, leaving him open for a second for our own attack. The most important knowledge for this phase is his attack patterns and how to counter them. When he comes in with Telluric Fury, counter with Punisher. He will often use Aurelian Assault after, and to dodge this, roll around him and attack his back, which is completely open. If he's doing anything else, just guard up. You'd be surprised how much damage is reduced. After a little back and forth, Sephiroth has us cornered, but then one of your party members will appear. Now, the members you get throughout this fight are based on the side quests you did, and we get Tifa. With each new phase, Sephiroth will get more aggressive as well as gaining new abilities. Again, the same strategies apply to dodge and counter his attacks, but now you can use Tifa to play a little riskier. You'll be able to attack, but you'll almost certainly take a hit yourself. The third phase will begin with us getting the final party member. For us, this was Barret. Sephiroth will now actually begin trying. He will infuse his attacks with different elements, causing each of his attacks to have a magical after effect, like bolts of lightning crashing down all over the arena with each of his sword swings. You need to be timing your attacks, dodges, and counters perfectly here. If you screw up, Sephiroth will be ready to capitalize on it. So, as a backup, keep someone loaded with ATBs for emergency potions. Sephiroth will now occasionally use his limit break, Octo Slash, but we can get all Advent children in here and counter that limit break with ours. It'll make us invulnerable for the entire duration while dealing damage to Sephiroth. At the start of the final phase, a timer will begin. If it reaches 0, it's game over. We need to take Sephiroth out fast, but he will begin casting some of the most dangerous magic in the game. The worst of which is Shadow Flare, a hard-hitting attack that comes from nowhere with insane knockback. The other is Heartless Angel, an attack that will force your party down to 1 HP. Make sure to have some elixirs ready for that one. Keep up the damage and Sephiroth will kneel before you. But it seems we've accomplished nothing as he disappears. With Sephiroth gone, the party vow to take him down for good. We get one final look as our heroes continue their unknown journey to Calm. And the Final Fantasy VII Remake No Materia Challenge is complete. Well, I hope that's the longest video I make for a while, but honestly this challenge was an absolute blast. The amount of bosses we had to rethink genuinely shocked me. On top of that, it showed just how versatile each of these characters truly are. We can practically finish every side quest too. The only one that can't be done is the damn Assess Materia side quest from Chadley. But if you've made it this far, I'd really appreciate a like, subscribe, and comment. It helps push the video more than you'd think. But thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all again for Rebirth. And of course, a special thank you to every single one of my YouTube members. I appreciate your support more than ever.